Hey, my name's Jack Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is this week's property news. Now, we haven't done this for a few weeks and there's been so much going on in the last few weeks. I don't know why we didn't do it last week or the week before, but it was missed, unfortunately. But this week, we're back with the property news. And as I said, there's a lot going down this week. And before I jump into this, I want to say thank you. We have had the busiest month ever on this channel, and we've still got a long way to go in the month. We've had record views, we've had thousands and thousands of new subscribers, so if you're one of those, thank you to everyone that has subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed already, do make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit the bell notification. And I've also seen about 20 people out and about that have recognised me from the channel that are watching and have said hello, so thanks to everyone that says hello when you see me out and about as well. So let's get into the news and talk about what is going on in the property world at the moment. So first thing I want to talk about is the inflation data. And it wasn't great. So inflation has come roaring back. We've gone from 2.6% inflation back up to 3.5%. Now, this is higher than analysts were expecting. We were expecting 3.3% inflation. We're expecting to get to 3.7% inflation by around about September. And so this isn't good. This is not a great sign. This is not what anybody wanted to happen. And what's the consequence on property? Well, this could slow down the Bank of England rate cuts. The forecast was that we would get 4 cuts this year. We've had 1. And now we've got to wait and see what happens. We need something to really be positive with inflation in order to get those rate cuts back on the table. So not great there. We did a video this week about house prices, and we talked about in London, central London, house prices are minus 29% in some areas. We're talking Kensington, Belgravia, those sorts of places. The very high-end places have been hit very hard with a property crash. A crash is technically over 20%. And those areas in the last 4 years have gone down around 29%, some of them. And some of them have had a 25% drop just in the last 2 years. Now, a lot of that has been attributed to the fact that it's not a great country at the moment for the ultra wealthy. So they're moving to places like Dubai, where it's more tax efficient. And that is shown in the data. There is a lot of millionaires and billionaires that have left the country. And so obviously these high-end places are going to be first to get hit. If there's not buyers there, then that's something that is going to happen. So house prices in central London are down significantly. And sometimes they say if London sniffs, the rest of the country gets a cold. So keep an eye on whether that creeps out to the southern counties and then further areas as well. It's interesting to know where we're at. We talked as well this week about a company that's got 100% mortgage. It's a company called April Mortgages. Some of you have mentioned these guys before. They've been on the channel another time where we had a video about April Mortgages. They have one loan where you can borrow 7 times your salary. You can't do that on 100% lending, but you can do that in certain circumstances, 7 times your salary. So these guys have got 100% mortgage. Now, would I get one of those? I'd consider it, because a lot of people say, well, you're burdened with debt. Here's the scenario, right? So if I was renting a property and I didn't have a deposit, it's likely that the mortgage payments would be less than what rent is. A smidge, maybe not loads, but they'll be there or thereabouts. And at least you're paying some of that payment down and creating a small amount of equity each and every month. And then as time goes on, as you get pay rises, if you wanted to pay down some of the mortgage, you can do that. Then you could shrink the term, because this is a 40-year mortgage, but you could shrink it to 25 years or 20 years when you refinance with somebody else at a later date once you've built up some equity. So I think it's something to consider. Rates are higher, not for everybody, but if it got you out of renting, I would consider it. Landlords, we talked a lot about landlords this week, and that's where a lot of you guys have come on to the channel because, like I said, we've had thousands of new subscribers this month, which is brilliant. That's what we want. We always want to get lots more subscribers. So hint, if you didn't subscribe at the beginning, please do that now. Landlords are quitting. HMRC did a survey and they interviewed thousands of landlords, and 33% of landlords want to quit in the next 5 years, and 25% of landlords want to quit in the next year. And that's been based off things like Section 24 tax, EPC stuff, renters' rights bills, and various other tax issues that these landlords foresee, and they just want to get out and do other stuff with their money. So a lot of landlords have watched that content. We've made a longer video where we go into detail on that, so do check that out in the description and go and watch that. What else have we talked about this week? A popular video was on leasehold reform. And so leasehold reform is really slow. It passed before Labour took power. Then it's just not really moved very far. What has happened so far is, the only thing that I can recall off the top of my head right now, is that you don't have to wait 2 years to extend a lease anymore. You do have to wait at the moment to get the details on extending to 990 years, to get rid of ground rent, to get rid of marriage value. All of those things are being slow walked. I've done a more detailed video on that, which you should check out. In my opinion, it's going to take years for this to go through. It is unbelievably slow and it's not moving forward. Something that did move forward, though, is that the freeholders are grouping together and taking the government to court on this, and the leaseholders have grouped together to fight back. So that's positive if you're a leaseholder, that you've got someone representing you now, and that could be a positive move for leaseholders. So keep an eye on that. We'll keep all the updates as and when they come out. Yields, buy-to-let yields are doing well. This is positive news. They are 17%, not 17%, I wish they were, 7% plus at the moment. So buy-to-let yields are at a 14-year high. So it's not all doom and gloom if you're a landlord, but some of that is out of necessity because you've got higher tax burden and potentially you've got to pay for EPC regulations and all that kind of stuff. But that is positive, especially if this is your main business and you need to make a decent profit on that. So that has been a consequence of rising rents. Rents went up 10% last year. I think they're going to keep going up. You're going to see lots more going on with that as well. We've also got some tax videos that we did this week as well, which I believe that you should go and check out. So when we're talking about tax, what we're saying here is that Labour are looking to tax landlords more. They're considering VAT on rent. They're considering a surcharge on your profits of 6%, even though you pay through income tax. There's lots of stuff that they're looking at, and none of them are particularly great. And this was based off a Guardian article that I read, and I think you should go and check that out as well on the channel if you're a landlord. And even if you're a tenant, I think you should really know what's going on in the market. So how you can get to all of the longer videos on this stuff is to click where it says Property Accelerator, then click on videos and sort by newest video, and you can see it's in the last 7 days. All of these. Rates, interest rates, let's talk about that. That's a very popular topic on the channel. Nothing this week. Literally nothing. For weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, we had so many interest rate videos, lenders cutting rates, forecasts for rates cutting, and now silence. And that is because of this inflation data. No one's looking to cut rates anymore. Fortunately, you might disagree and you might have seen something that I haven't. If you have, comment below. I haven't seen anyone putting rates up. That's good, but it's not good that we're not getting any more rates moving down. Now, the market is slow. The market is really slow at the moment. There's not a lot of property transactions happening at this point in time. And so last year when this happened, lenders had a price war, and that's what was started a few weeks ago, but now seems to have come to a halt. Lenders did a price war last year, and that got the market moving. Now, maybe in a month or so, once we've got the next batch of inflation data and a bit more of an indicator on what the Bank of England sees happening, we might start seeing some rate cuts again. That's what we're hoping for. The lenders need to get the market moving, because if they don't lend money, they don't make money. And so it is in their incentive to get it moving as well. So look, what have I missed? Anything else that's big this week? Do comment below and let me know. If I haven't made a video on it, I'll check it out and look to fit that in as well. Do subscribe to the channel. As I said, thousands have subscribed this month. I really appreciate that. We whistled to 42,000 subscribers. We're very close, on the way to 43,000 subscribers now. And we've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views already this month on the channel, which is really great. So thanks to everyone that watches. Do check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.